Hey guys, this is Laurel of the Dabbling Hook, or Rel of the Dabbling Hook. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. It is lunchtime on Monday, so I'm using my lunch hour to talk to you guys, or to speak with you guys, not talk to you guys. This is going to be mostly about the two craft fairs that I had back to back because what? I don't have any, well, I didn't have any active whips except for started stuff during the fair. But before I do all that, welcome to all the new subscribers and thank you to all the returning yarnies for spending some time with me. Okay, it is Monday. It is well after 12. Like I said, lunch hour. So I need to not be prattling during my lunch hour so I can get this done. So I'm able to edit it later because editing takes as long or longer than recording the video. Okay. Before the craft fair, what are we talking about? I had notes and I was all prepared, and as soon as I started, all went out. I am drinking some Yogi Honey Chai Turmeric Vitality sweet and spicy blend to support overall health. And I need that right now because I'm just so tired. But the other thing too is I bought this just to give it a try, and I'm not totally keen on it, but I'm just trying to use it up. So I'm drinking. For breakfast, I had some hot chocolate. And so now I shouldn't have had the hot chocolate because of the dairy, but I wanted it and it was a little cool. So sacrifices sometimes. Okay. Before we go into the craft fair, I am going to talk about, and I totally forgot to prepare this. Oops. Pardon me. Ooh, almost fell. The cowl will be released today. So by the time you see this, it will be out there on Ravelry and Etsy. And it will be at 20% discount along with all my other patterns for the week. So until I think the 2nd, it will be on sale. And if this is glitching, I am trying, but I can't figure it out. So I think at this point, I'm not really sure if it's I don't think it's my computer from some of the videos that I've seen, but I started saving to get an actual camera. So I feel all official now that I've said that I'm actually going to try to find a camera for doing these videos. I never thought that would happen. So anyway, that's that. So the hooded cowl. The name of the hooded cowl is the Magdalene cowl. Not Magdalene, Magdalene, as in Mary Magdalene, because that was my grandmother's name. And I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, oh, I can't think of a name. And I'm like, what is, we didn't call her grandma. Her name was Nen. Did she have a middle name? And so she was telling me, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And then my sister had said, oh, it looks like, it's covered with I know it's reaching a little, but I think she said it was, like the Virgin Mary with the covered head. It kind of looks like that in the picture, I guess, or that feel to it. So I'm like, perfect. It was meant to be, because as soon as my mom said the name, I'm like, that's it. So Magdalene will be out there by the time you see this video, and everything will be on sale for a week. So in advance, anyone who purchases it, I greatly appreciate it. And I can see this thing blinking, and I think it usually glitches when that happens. So I don't know. I don't know if my camera or my computer processing can't handle it or what have you, and I'm tired of futzing with it. So for a while, you're going to have to bear with the glitches. So that is the Magdalene hooded cowl. I think that's it for whips. Not whips, for announcements. No, the other thing that will be coming out, and I think I've heard from my testers, and I just need to add a few more things to the pattern and then get it out there. I have the listing set up already. I just, it hasn't been publicized, and I haven't had the time with the craft fairs and work. I picked up 3 new projects at work, and yeah, it's playing with my mind a little. So I just need to get my thoughts in order. So this is in Hudson Bay, and you really can't see. It's just got a little bit of texture design in the front, and I'm really happy about this one. I used a bit of bigger needle size this time around. One thing, a lot of people like a little looser hat. There's some people who do like the close fitting, but a lot of them like a little looser. So I usually use 8-9 millimeter needles. This one is 9 and 10, and I think I've made 5 of them. This might be number 6 already, and I've taken them with me to the craft fair, and they've been touched a lot, so that's a good sign. I'm happy about that. So I will talk about this next week. I will, either in a separate video, or I don't have craft fairs coming up for the next 2 weekends, which I was trying to fill the slots, but I'm just so happy now that I don't, because I get to chill out and catch up on some of the things that I need to make. So this will be out next week. And then the other thing that will be out at the beginning of November would be my, oh my gosh, I just went completely blank. My hat for the collaboration, which is the Anastasia hat. That will be out as well. So back to back almost. And I'm seeing off the side of my eye that this thing is glitching, and it's really annoying me. Okay, so that was that. Other than craft fair items, what I have finished, the only other thing, like I said, with work and the getting ready for the craft fairs, I really haven't done much. But the only other thing that's finished, or what I've done was for the craft fair. And look, you can even tell it's a little crooked. This was the double crochet mitered square. This was number 20 of the unraveled mitten. And I will say this is, I think, the second or third one that's just not one of my favorites. When I first did it, I showed you guys last time that it just wasn't shaping up. And just reading the way she wrote that one line, I think she missed a comma. So I decided to just do it the way I thought it should have been. And I was chatting with, I don't know if it was Debbie or someone else about this. And I happened to go back, maybe it was Amber, but anyway, I happened to go back and check the pattern again, and she had updated it. So what I thought was what it should have been was right. So, but I was already almost done by the time I had gone back and checked the pattern. So, but it's kind of like the corner to corner where it doesn't quite square up when you're done. This is what happened. It just, part of it could have been the yarn. This is Big Twist Premium, but with this yarn and any of the yarns, the different colorways, I don't know if it's the dyes have different reactions to the yarn, but it thins out the yarns, and some of them stay regular and plump, and some of them just thin out. This navy blue is much lighter than this this turmeric color, so even feeling it, you can feel the difference, and they're supposed to be the same weight. So this section here is smaller. When you fold it, you can definitely see it's just off. So long story longer, not one of my favorites. So, but it was pretty easy enough to do. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I have the Bobble Shrug again from Gigi. I hadn't put that below. Somebody asked, I think Jackie asked about it, and I went back and put the link below, so that's there. I did end up putting a button to hold it closed because that's very much needed. I'm not sure if I had made it with the yarn and the size size of the pattern, if it would have stayed on my shoulder, but like I said, I went, because I didn't have enough of the yarn, so I tripled up some Impeccable, and I think I changed the size, so it's just not sitting well, so the button helps. I was going to say one other thing. The other thing I was going to mention was, with everyone making the crystals, I think the wide neck cowl, I don't know the official name. So I was getting ready for the craft fair Friday night for Saturday's craft fair, and I was checking the closet again because, you know, I keep finding things in there that I thought I pulled it all out. And actually, no, I was looking for that first hooded cowl that I made that I showed, I'll put a picture up. I can't find it. I am hoping, another sidebar, the mess I was supposed to work on, never got to it. So I'm hoping somehow it fell in there and it, yarn got put on it. And that's my goal for this. Between making stuff for the craft fair upcoming and not having a craft fair for the next 2 weekends, I need to clean that floor, because if it's under there, I'm going to be so pissed at myself. I think I put it somewhere so that I would, when you put something somewhere safe, I have no idea where it is. I've looked everywhere it could possibly be and I can't find that cowl. So the only other thing left is in the mess over there. So it'd be quite disappointing if it actually is there, because that's bad. That's just sad. But I was going through the closet, all this to say, and I pulled out, I'm like, oh, look at this color. And I pulled it out and totally didn't realize what was there. So what's there is my fringe triangle cowl. And when I pulled it out, it immediately kind of reminded me of, without the neck, because I don't like turtleneck stuff. Without the neck, it reminds me of the cowl everyone's making, because my original pattern or my original intent for the fringe triangle cowl was to be a cowl, but you have a little more interest where it covers the front. And one of the reasons I made it is at work, the AC where I sat always came on at certain times, and you'd be working along, and then all of a sudden you'd feel a chill, and there would be it would fall right on the back of my neck and my back. So I made it because I didn't want really the triangle in the front all the time. So that's why I made it a cowl, so I can turn it around and have all the extra parts, the poncho looking part on the back to cover my back and such, and still have a cowl and not all the business in the front. All this to say is, right now the pattern has 3 sizes. It originally had 2 sizes, and the small size, I realized I made it in Charisma, and I may end up making a couple more if I can for the fairs. But it's perfect, and it just reminded me of that. Not reminding me so much of Crystal's cowl, but the size of it and the way it fits. So if you happen to have my fringe triangle cowl pattern, if you make the small size, you will have something very similar. And you can fringe it or not fringe it. But I think I took this and I put it in the fair, which I'll talk about, and it didn't sell. But I may keep it because this color is just everything. This mustardy gold, and it's Tweety Fleck, and it's Charisma, and it's just so soft, and I think I will just keep it for myself. Yeah. And I have enough things of Charisma there that I can probably get a couple different colors. I think I might blend the colors. A thought. Okay, so that's that. As far as whips, at the craft fair, I started at Saturday's craft fair. I always bring multiple now projects. So I started a basic beanie. I was watching, I think it was either Yay for Yarn or I forget who it was. I will have to find who it is and put the link. But she was making like a double beanie. Not a double brim, but a double beanie. Basically, you take the skein of yarn and you just knit, knit, knit till you run out, basically. And then you close up one end, and then you close up the bottom first, cinch it, and then you invert it in. Oops, really bad at this. You invert it in so it's double. You pull the closed end up here so it's up top. Then you close the outside part. You'll see in the video. Hopefully I can find it. I think I saved it. You cinch it, and then I think she turned it inside out and took a few stitches to capture both the inside and outside so that they're fastened together. And now you have a double beanie, and it's just all knitting. That's like the best part of it, is just knitting. There's no purling, there's no anything. And this is in wool spun. which I have quite a few skeins still. Not the one that I found at the big box store, just stuff I had ordered from Lion Brand and just stuff I had acquired at clearances when they were discontinuing it. So, perfect. And this gray, I forget what the color was, but it's perfect. It's a little darker showing on camera, but it's just perfect. It's just all knitting. It's just, Kim, Crafty Nomad, I know you don't like purling. This would be perfect. You get a number 5 yarn, it will go even faster. I think she used a worsted weight yarn with an 8mm circular needle. I'm using 7mm. I like a 7mm. But yeah, I can't wait to finish that. So I only brought one skein. I thought it would be enough because, knitting uses less yarn than crochet, and I thought, that'll be, no, it's not enough. I think I may have cast on a few more extra stitches too. But I'm so excited for this. So excited for this. It's just, it would be perfect for the guys if I can. I need to get at least this done and then maybe one more just to have. And then if it goes well, then I will definitely make it for next year. But I'm so excited about that. But yeah, so this was from Saturday's craft fair, and I totally ran out of yarn. That's where I am. So I need to timber. And then at yesterday's craft fair, I had also brought this on Saturday, but I was busy enough that I didn't get to do anything with it. But I've only made the, I don't know if there's even a name, but the beanie that you just crochet a rectangle and you sew it, and then, you flip the brim or not flip the brim. I made mine long enough, so I'll flip it so it's extra warm around the ears. Again, this is more wool spun that I've had there, this red, I think. I had this red color and I ordered some more from Lion Brand. So again, I brought one skein with me and definitely wasn't enough. I think it'll definitely be a 2 skein one. So yeah, when it's done, this is the top. When it's done, I'll definitely, so it'll be quite a slouch, but it'll have a big cuff. So I may have gone a little overboard with how long. I think I did a 48 chain. But yeah, I'm hoping it'll be like that once I'm done. And the lighting in here is awful, even though it's a gorgeous day out. Gorgeous fall day for fall. So yeah, there's that. Yep, that's it. So I got to work on those. So those are my active whips that I have. All right. Oh, I forgot to say thank you to my testers for the hooded cow. Do you mind being named? Debbie, Amber, I guess I didn't wait for a response. Debbie, Amber, Karen, Rosalind, and Hope. Thank you all so very much for your feedback, for your help, for your speedy turnaround, and all that. So thank you. I won't name the other pattern yet because I haven't talked about that, or it's not being released yet. So, all right. I do have one other whip that I started it late at night, and I shouldn't have. I started it, when did I start it? I started it late Friday night, hoping to get it for Saturday, and that was a mistake because I forgot how much work's involved. But I started a snowy owl, and I make mistakes. One, well, it was because of the yarn choice. I used the velvet yarn. I think it was the baby velvet yarn I got on clearance, and latte, of course, because it's an owl and you need to latte it. Made it very difficult to see your stitches, especially with this feather pattern here. So I don't know if you can tell, but this side is fine. This side, it's all, you can't really tell looking at it, but it's just all over the place. So I miscounted somehow and tried to add stitches in, and it's just a mess. So I'm going to leave it, and it's going to have character. But I was very frustrated with myself for doing that and not being able to really see my stitches, and yeah. And I was so tired of doing the feathers because of all that. So it's on hold right now. I'm hoping to finish it to at least have one for the next coming fair. It's the first weekend in, is it the first? No, it's the second Saturday in, I was going to say February. The second Saturday next month is my next fair. So I definitely want to finish that to have at least one because the snowy owls were very popular there. Okay, so speaking of owls and the fair. So I had two fairs, Saturday and Sunday, and I said I wasn't going to do back to back. And not only did I book this one, Saturdays was a last minute ad, but then I booked two in November back to back. So the 16th and the 17th. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but at least those are indoors. So, there's no tent having set up and dealing with weather and all that, or at least not while I'm outside. It may snow or rain or whatever getting to the fair. So Saturday's fair. Saturday's fair, like I said, it was a last minute ad. The one I did last month, that was a bust, that I didn't make my threshold. And that one was good the last 2 years. This year, not so much. But I was talking to two other vendors, and they're like, oh, this one coming up is really great. I've been doing it for a long time. It's called Pies on the Common, where they sell pies on the common, as a fundraiser. I didn't get any pie because when you first get there, we're all setting up. And by the time we're all set up and done, and you looked over to where it was just, it's like a swarm on the pies. And I don't think it made it even till noontime. So I was talking to one of the organizers, and she's like, yeah, I was hoping they started it a little later, hoping it would last a little, but nope. People came for their pie and they got their pie. Let me tell you, everyone was walking by with some people with 2 and 3 pies in their hands. So I didn't even make it near the pie tent. So it was cold. When we got there, the ground was frosted. The grass was definitely frosted. It had already started to thaw out a little, but it was still coated. Father Minion and the Minions came to help me set. Actually, no, that wasn't the one. Just the Minions came to help me set up because Father Minion went on his boys trip. So yeah, they actually got up when I asked Minion 1 if he'd get up and come help me. He actually said, if I can get up, but he didn't outright say, oh no. It's like, they're growing up. But they both came and they helped me to set up the tent. And did I mention that Minion 1 is now a licensed driver? Yeah. So when I did the fair on the common, that I didn't think the one I was prejudging, when they came to help me, then Minion 2 had to go into Boston to his uncle's house, my brother's house, to pick up something. So Father Minion said he would drive them, and they're like, no. They wanted to, Minion 1 wanted to drive. And I'm like, he can't drive into Boston. That's like highways and everything, and they've only ever been passengers. And so Father Minion said, oh, no, they're not driving. They won't go without me. Wouldn't you know, he let him drive. And it's a good thing I wasn't there because I would have just had palpitations, the overprotective mother. But yeah, he is licensed driver. He's been driving. He's going here and there. He's a slow driver, but he's a very cautious driver. I'm so proud of him. I'm just, I still have that, oh my God, he's going where? He's doing what? But I'm just so proud of him. He's doing so well. I couldn't ask for better. I couldn't have, even though he's a slow driver, better slow than fast, but he's just doing so well. Anyway. That was the proud mom moment. So Saturday it was good. By the time we were all done setting up, it had thawed out. Yeah, I'm gonna be long. It had thawed out, and it was a little slow to get started, but then it definitely picked up. And I had made, what did I make? I had the octopus. I made little octopuses on keychains. And I also made a bunch more jellyfish. So they were hanging right in front. And whether or not they buy anything, it does draw people in, grown-ups as well as the kids. More grown-ups than kids love the octopus, especially having them hang up there, because they would be looking around and then they happen to look up and it's just like, oh my God. So make the little things that, if you can hang things in, if you're outside in your tent, or if you have anywhere you can hang things, that it's eye level. Speaking of eye level, so Amber was talking about the fair she went where the woman, I think either next to her, behind her, had risers. And I've seen those before, but I don't know why I've never used them before. I know I've seen people with tables that have extendable legs that I haven't been able to find yet. And I haven't looked online because I don't want to order online. But anyway, so I finally used them. And I have to say, I think having the table just a little bit higher has helped. It really has, I think. It's just, my one tip is to, I forgot to put them on, so then I was trying to put them on after I put stuff on the table. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make sure you put them on when there's nothing on the table when you're setting up. Try not to forget. But I think they definitely help, having it a little higher where people don't have to like bend down or whatever. So thank you, Amber. What else happened? I took notes. I had a little, my nails will grow and then they break way at the base of the nail. And so I had a little break, which is very normal. I think when I was breaking down, it got caught on something and I did a little yelp, and just so happens to be my flip off finger that it happened on. So I've been enjoying saying, oh, look what happened with that finger. But yeah, it bled and it hurt. By then I was cold, breaking down, and I was tired, and yeah, it still hurts. And it broke where part of the nail broke off, but part was still like attached to skin. So it's very precarious trying to cut it off, and yeah, that was not fun. Bees, there were a lot of bees. The people selling like cakes and cookies and fundraiser type stuff had apple cider. That brought in the bees. And then the guy next to me was selling maple syrup. And there was one or two bees always around, or I think yellow jackets more than bees around. But I went at one point to get something to eat because I usually make a thermos of tea to have and a bottle of water I bring. I totally forgot my tea. And that pissed me off, myself off. And then when we got there, I thought where we parked for the previous fair would be the same place we're parking. It was somewhere else and it was a little further. So that, like, the day started a little peeved. But I got an apple cider and I was drinking. I put it down, and when a customer came in and I looked over, and then there were the bees or the yellow jackets there. Looked over again and the little bugger was in my cup, and then it fell in my cup. So there goes my apple cider, and it was still a little warm. I figured, oh, fine, you'll die. Nope, it was crawling off. And then I happened to flick it off, and it must have flown off and was pissed off and brought friends back. And I turned, and there were at least 5 or 6 of them milling around. Maybe there was like, apple cider spilled over, and I don't know. There were a lot of them, and I had to take my shawl that I had and like flick at them. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but there were just so many of them. Well, panicked a little. But with the guy next to me with the maple syrup, and I took the cup after I flicked it and I dumped it off to the side, and they were there, and it was a bad scene. So there were a lot of bees. The day started off really cold. I think it was like 36 degrees, and it got warm, and if you were in the sun, it was good. If you were in the shade, not so much. I had my first theft. Little black pumpkin that I made. I had 2 black pumpkins and a black pumpkin with the face. And I know I didn't sell any pumpkins, and I was missing one of the black pumpkins. Not the one with the grumpy face, but one of the black pumpkins. So that's my first official theft. So not a big deal. It wasn't something huge, but still. Anyway, nothing much you can do about that, because you can't, especially if you're by yourself, you can't look at everything and be every place all at once. So that happened. What sold? My, hold on. Give me a second. I try to keep a note of what sold because I know I wouldn't remember to write it all down when I started recording. So 1 second. Minion 2's home because he wasn't feeling well for school today. And I just said I was recording. He was going to come say hi. He barters for everything now. So you guys are worth $20 to him to say hi. Savage. Okay, where was I? Talking about what sold on Saturday. It's quite a bit. I was going to combine them, but no. So Saturday, I sold quite a bit of headbands. Between the Kalina and the Sherelle headbands, I sold 7. I sold a basic knit hat. So glad I did those. I sold a chubby bunny. I sold a shawl, one of the Yvette shawls. I'm always excited when I sell a shawl. I sold an Anissa hat. Those, I haven't made any this year. Those are all from last year that I still have. I sold 6 octos, a footbridge, a big button cowl. One of the big button cowls and the footbridge beanie is actually a custom order. She actually paid there and she's going to pick it up at my fair in December. But I need to find the yarn. So speaking of, she wants it in navy, and I did mention to her, now not all navies look like, you know, what you think navy would look like. And a friend of hers was with her, and she was like, yeah, because they're so different. So I went to Joann's. They don't carry Thick and Quick in navy. Michael's has it. And I had a 60% off coupon for Joann's. And now that you can do multiple transactions at Michael's, I had also a 50% off coupon and another 40% off coupon. I'm just going to do 3 transactions. There's no sign saying it was on sale. Get to the register and it rings up. I think they called it a something change or price change or something. Don't know what that means, but I was very pissed because it was only $1.50 off, whereas my 60% off coupon is more than half off. So I left those. I'm going to wait. Since I don't need it till December, I'm going to wait till the sale's over, and then I will find at least a 40% off coupon will be better than that. So that was my little rant. I could have gotten all I needed to make that and be done with it, but no. They send you the good coupons and then they put everything on sale. Jellyfish, I sold 3. I sold 2 seahorses, Marcia. I sold a Victrina beanie. I sold 2 2-button cowls. They say I sold the big button. I sold 3 of those. Very surprised at that, but that seemed to be very popular this weekend. I sold my, I called it Buster because I couldn't remember the name, but Bowser, the Angelia's Lovey. That went, this woman came in and a friend of hers or somebody in the family was having a baby. There's a girl and she didn't want to do pink. And the one I did is in like cream and green, shades of green. I'm like, green is neutral. And her friend says, yep, and they bought it. So love that. My last owl, my purple owl, that's gone. So that I definitely need to make for the next fairs. And sorry, my nose is itchy. My flamingo, and I can't remember if it was from this year's or last year's Softy crochet along, but that finally sold. This little girl came and she was having nothing else but that, so that went. I sold a Kelsey beanie, and I sold one of the York, the new knit hat that will be coming out next week. So yeah, it was good sales day. Different items. Definitely the toys were the big thing selling. The jellyfish and the seahorses were a big hit with people. So that was Saturday. Sunday was the fair that I did last year where the people were looking down the nose or not even looking at you or acknowledging you during the morning, and then the afternoon part of the fair, turned out great, way better, like gangbusters great. So I had high hopes for this year. Nope, nope, did not work out, and I don't know if I'll be doing that one again because I got a different spot, which was fine. It wasn't that far away from where I was, and you're going to hear Minion 2 making a lot of noise. But this was more of a festival, and I think I mentioned before, I don't know if I like festivals because people come for the activities, keep the kids busy and all that, and all the free stuff, and they don't tend to shop as much, is what I'm finding. So they had near us was a big area where they were doing pumpkin decoration, always a big crowd there. And we were right in the path, but people just used that path to exit stage left. So yeah, we had a few people stop and look. Oh, it's cute. There were lots of ooh and ahs, but not so much buying. Nothing you can do about that, but yeah, that was disappointing. So yeah, the sales close to when we were getting ready to break down towards the end, I was way off my threshold. And I've had it in the past where when I'm breaking down, people tend to come out of nowhere. And that totally happened. And it rallied it. I did not make my threshold. I'm disappointed, but whatever. I was chancing it. Last year was a chance doing a fair, and this year I had high hopes. Didn't work out. But I ended up $37 shy of my threshold. So, sorry, I have such an itchy nose right now. So I don't know. I don't think I'll be doing it. There's another fair that a few people have told me about. It's that same day as this one. It's inside. The only thing is it's a small table. I don't even think it's an 8-foot table, and it's I think pricey for a 6-foot table for that fair. So I may give it a try just to see and bite the bullet and get 2 spaces and see how it turns out. But you don't know unless you try. And there's a ladybug crawling on my window screen. So yeah, that one didn't turn out as I expected. I expected it to go. Plus, it's in that shishi town, or very well off town. So that was a bummer. But on the bright side, the vendor next to me, she was selling crystals. There's a guy next to her. He was so chatty. Oh my God, so chatty. And then the 2 women in front of me, we all started talking, and it made it so much better. It's great when the vendors around you aren't just complaining for complaining's sake, and you can actually have conversations, and it makes the day go by. Yeah, you will hem and haw about, how things aren't going well, but you have conversation, and it just makes the day go by better. The ones directly in front of me, they're from Western Mass. They're from Amherst, Mass, and they travel. And I was talking to them. It's a mom and daughter. It's a whole family. They do this full time, and they make earrings. And I can't believe I forgot to take a picture. But I don't know why my nose is so itchy. So the mom, I was talking to the mom first, and she said, yeah, they travel. And I'm thinking, okay, they travel over an hour to get here. Well, later I was talking to the daughter, and she was saying about Virginia. I'm like, wait, you mean like travel? Like, yeah, they go to Florida. In December, they go to Florida because earrings, they can do it whenever, every day, well, not every day, but all seasons. Whereas we're relegated to, fall, winter season. So yeah, in December, they stop doing around here, and they go to Florida to sell. But her husband and it was either her daughter or her niece, were in Pennsylvania at a show, and they were there. So yeah, they travel. I'm like, and I complain when I have to drive, an hour somewhere to go do a show. So yeah, but it was great conversation. The other vendor I was talking to, she makes earrings. She uses bottle caps, and she covers them in these gorgeous fabrics. I think I took a picture of hers. If I hadn't deleted it yet, I will pop it in. Light as a feather, and it's gorgeous. So I'm like, oh, those are bottle caps. I hate, because you can't recycle the bottle caps, and I've been saving them for a while, and I had a bag in my garage. Turns out they're from New Hampshire, and I work in New Hampshire, and I'm like, oh, we can meet. and I can give you all the bodycats because they've just been sitting in my garage. So turned out to be a good thing anyway. So what's sold on Sunday? This is going to be a little long video today. This one I definitely did keep in my phone. 1 second. Okay. I had a brown hat that I was trying to do a pattern with, and I wasn't sure if I liked it. So I didn't continue doing the pattern. I may, but I don't know yet. But that sold. So I got to remember what I did. And I don't know if I even took a picture of it too. If I do, I'll find it and put the picture in. It's simple enough, but I was trying to do a little, not even text. The hat has texture, but just a little interest I was trying to do in the front. Anyway, if I find it, I'll put the picture in. I sold 2 more of these. So like I said, this is the new pattern coming out next week, and it has been received pretty well so far. Sold 2 more seahorses. So Marsha, I'm all out of seahorses. I need to make more. Actually, I forgot to show some things I did. I started at the fair. I did these, or not started, I made at the fair. I did these yesterday at the fair. I made a divine hat. It's been latte'd. So it is made with latte cakes in the shocking teal, which I don't know why they call it teal, because it's not all teal. It's like purples and like light greens and weird color. So it's that with, I love this yarn in Jazz Stripe. I held them together with a 7mm. And for those who always ask about what I do with my divine hats, I started with 12. One thing I do with the divine hat, I find if you go by the pattern, for me, the top is a little too pointy. So I do the first, well, if I do it per pattern, I do the first 15, and then I skip that next round, and then I just do, I do the front post with the 1 double crochet right after it, and then the next one, for the next 2 rows, I put the front post with the 2 double crochets, and then I go into the 3 double crochets. This one I did 3 rows with the 2 double crochets after the front post. Yep, and I did not do the 4 double crochet. I just left it at the 3 double crochets. So that's that. Because it's yarn doubled and it's a 7mm, so you figure it will be big enough. And I had my mannequins that I could try it on just to see if I liked it or not. So, and then for the band, I did the first row of single crochet in the back loop, and then I did the purl single crochet, and I alternated them. Single crochet in both loops, purl single crochet. Yep, and then I did 2 rows of purl single crochet at the end to finish it off. So yeah, that's a divine latte'd. And then I had more. It didn't take the whole skein of the I love this yarn, so I made a Kalina headband out of those 2. I still had more. I did a Sherelle headband out of those 2, and I decided not to latte, and I made a seahorse just out of the Jazz Stripe. Yep. So I think I had like a little bit left of the Jazz Stripe. Okay, so my computer is unplugged and I had 20% battery, and it just crawled and it slowed down, and yeah. So this is about 10 minutes later. So what I was saying, Saturday, was it Saturday? Was it Saturday? Or was it Sunday? Sunday. Because Saturday it sold all but one of my jellyfish, not my seahorses. So I was so tired that first we had gone, Minions and I went to dinner, and they were just their usual, like completely fooling around. It was awesome. Fooling around. They were just being boys again. It was just, I miss those days. Anyway, so by the time we got home and everything, I was just dead. And the only thing I was able to crochet was I made a seahorse for the next day because I had one left at that point. So I will put in a picture because that's gone. Speaking of seahorses, what sold on Saturday. Was it on Saturday? Yep. This woman came by with a little baby in the little carrier on her, and she wanted the seahorse, and she picked it up and she brought it near the baby's. The baby was sleeping on her baby's hand, and I'm looking at her like, and she saw the look on my face. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And she's, I guess her baby likes to fall asleep holding her hand or holding something, and it's usually her finger. And she's like, yeah, that could take a while kind of thing. And so she took the tail, and I'm so glad now that I didn't put pipe cleaner in there. So she took the tail and she brought it next to the baby's hand to see if it would fit, like, you know, if it would be small enough for the baby to hold. And I couldn't tell if it was a boy or girl because I think her whole setup was like a grayish tone. So she was telling me, I'm like, oh, and she's like, sometimes it takes a while and to stand there or sit there while the baby falls asleep holding her finger. So I guess she's going to use the tail to put there so the baby can grab onto to fall asleep. Like, for all the not so great shows so far, there've been like instances like that girl at the fair, the Jazz Fest, where she was buying for her sister, and then this, it's those little things that make it, you know, palatable when things don't go so right at the fair. So yeah, I made this last night to use up the yarn, and I still have quite a bit of the latte cake left, and I'm going to use that and find a coordinating one of my cakes and put it with it and make big button cowls, not big button, 2-button cowls, because the latte one, people like. I have one left of the latte one, but the one I did in blue. Remember I'd said that a woman wanted one, but she wanted in blue, and I went looking for it, and I knew she wasn't going to contact me, but I'm glad I went because I made one, and that's the one that sold. So I got 2 more of those cakes, and I think I'm going to combine it with that, even though that has greens and purplish in it, called Shocking Teal. I don't know why. I'm going to put it together and make another one. So just to have. So latte. If nothing else, the texture brings people in. It's the feel of it. So I think that's it. It's going to be a long, yeah, it's going to be a long video. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, so what I need to make actually for, let me see if I can find it real quick. What I need to make for upcoming seahorses, chubby bunny. I made a chubby bunny on Friday. I'll post a picture, and it sold at the Saturday show. And then I had one other one that was a purple, really chunky one that I was using some leftover Zumba yarn. That sold yesterday. So I'm all out of chubby bunnies. I'm all out of seahorses. I'm all out of my owls. And Minion 2 is purposely being loud, and I'm going to go over there and then my Yvette shawl that I made, the gray one in the latte cake with the wing. This little old lady, I think she's got a scam going, because afterwards I remembered her. She said, oh, her wallet was stolen and she's a cancer survivor, and I'm not doubting that at all because I don't know, but she was laying it on thick, and she wanted, you know, can I offer a discount and whatever, and I gave her $5 off because I wanted to sell a shawl, but yeah, afterwards I'm like, she laid that on pretty thick and she got me good. So, just little old lady. Yeah. And a well off town too, so she knows what she's doing. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get seahorses, owls, chubby bunny, and at least one Yvette shawl with a latte cake. So that means I need to, the latte cakes went on sale. I could have used my 60% off coupon. It was only for a day. Damn it. Okay. So yeah, I will do that. And what else? Stay tuned for this. Coming next week, Magdalene will be out there by the time you see this. And I think that's it. That's a lot. I got a lot of stuff to do. I have a couple of custom orders. I have to knit 2 hats, but I have some time to do that. And another person at work, she wanted something. I can't remember what, and I emailed her, let me know what it was. I haven't heard back, but other than that, before the noise gets too loud and I need to go back to work, I will talk to you guys later.